Hello everyone. Today I'm going to cover Flask and we will go over some of the basics related to Flask. So let's get started. So we have the basic structure of Flask. So I've already created a simple virtual environment in which I have installed the Flask package and I have started the application. I have written simple file, start application, the basic structure of Flask. So what are the requirements? So first of all, we have to import the Flask. Uh, the Flask class that is being built through which we can develop our app. So we have to import from Flask. We have to import Flask. Then with the Flask, we create an instance which we name as app. You can name it whatever you like, but mostly we write it as app, or maybe you can change it to server or anything like that as you prefer. And inside the parameter of Flask, we have passed the name variable. This is one of the variable, internal environment variable that is available in Python, which refers to if you print it out, it refers to a name. You may have already seen it's being used in various conditions. So it contains something like this string, which refers to the current module scope that the script is being run. So, so after creating the basic structure of Flask, this is the simple and most simple structure of Flask. And to after creating the structure to start the app, we have to export. We have to define for some variables before starting the before we can start the Flask server. So we have Flask app, through which we define the script that we want to run, or which is the main file from which contain the application server or the instance of Flask. So for example, we have created an app instance which is being assigned a Flask instance. So we have to refer to that file for starting the Flask server. So in this case, we have start.py, which is our main server. So we defined a variable, Flask app export. In the case of Linux, with Windows, we have to use set. After defining the variable, we can use the command flask run to run our application and start the application. So our application has started, but since if I open it up, we see that the requested URL was not found on the server. If you enter the URL manually, it is stating us that the reason is because we haven't defined any route. What will be written in the case if the if we request from our service the root URL or any endpoint? If we request, what will be written by the web server? So we haven't defined anything. So as of now, there is nothing. So that's why it's returning us not found. So it will return us not found for everything. If I change this to hello, then also it is will return as 404 not found, which is the standard for which for the case if nothing is found, it will return as 404. So there are two ways to right now you have seen that the application has started without the debug mode. So in the case if we are developing and we want to debug our application, so we have to enable the debug mode so we can debug the application and find out the problems related to our application or debug the code where the application is crashing. So to enable the debug mode, we have to enable another environment variable. We have to create another environment variable which is related to Flask env. So all the variable names will be in capital. So we have to define the Flask env. Then we have to define what type of environment we want to. For debug mode, we have to define development. In the normal case, if we don't have anything, it will be running in the production mode. You can see here using production mode has been written here. And the deployment server, do not use it in the production. This server, you can see the warning. This server is not for deployment, it is for only development. So for the case If we are developing, we mostly want the debug mode on, because we want to debug our application in case of crashing. So most of the case we want to enable the debug mode. So we have to define the variable to enable the debug mode, flask env and equal to development. So after defining, when I rerun the application with the flask run command, it will be started in debug mode and we can debug our application. So as of now, nothing is being crashed, so we can't see we can't see anything problems going on. And since we haven't any defined any route as of now, we cannot also debug. I will show you the debug part later on. So for now, this is related to the debugging part. The second is we can also without the use of variables, we can also debug. We can also enable debug mode, and we don't have to declare these variables to run our application. To not run our application, to directly start. Suppose we want to start directly with Python and don't want to run the command flask run. So we can open our application. I have created one application already, which defines what changes we have to make to run our application with Python command only, the Python interpreter. So the only change we have to make is we have to tell it to run by itself. And if you want to enable the debug mode, we have to pass the parameter debug equal to true, which will cause the application to run in debug mode. So from here, we don't require to define the variable. We just want the Flask binary to be Flask package to be available in the environment. And now we can just run the script without defining the variable, and it will be started as same it was before without defining the environment variables. So this is for this session. We'll discuss more later on later sessions.